Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Khaliq al-samawati wal-ardeen, thumma salatu wa salamu ala man kana nabiyyan wa adam al-bayn al-ma'i wa teen. أجمل الأجمل الأكمل الأكمل سيدنا نبينا محمد مصطفى صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وآله وأصحابه وآل بيته أجمعين وبعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وأصحاب سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم صلاة وسلام عليك يا سيدي يا طبيبي يا حبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. And welcome to our program, Mufti in the House, with me, your go-to guide for the essentials of Ramadan and fasting. I am Mufti Fareed Jamal Moeeni, your host on this program or this journey of spiritual discovery, as we seek the guidance of the esteemed ulama and scholars and experts in Islamic jurisprudence. In this special series, in the special month of Ramadan, we dive deep into the divine principles that govern fasting and the practices that make Ramadan a unique and spiritual enriching experience for Muslims worldwide. Join us as we explore the diverse aspects of this blessed month, shedding light on the do's and the don'ts, addressing common misconceptions, and providing clarity on the teachings that shape the holy observance of fasting. In this show, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, we break down the rules and wisdom behind fasting in Ramadan and in a way that is simple yet profound. So join us as we navigate through the do's and the don'ts, and we debunk the myths, and we get to the heart of what makes fasting during this blessed month so special. This program is brought to you through the kind courtesy of IBN Channel 8 and our CEO Haji Inshan Ishmael. We make special dua that Allah Almighty continue to bless this station and keep this station on air. May Allah Almighty forgive our Haji Saab for his shortcomings, elevate his condition, accept his fasting, inshallah, forgive his parents who have passed away, and forgive all the Muslims who have passed away. And may he grant us all success. We make special dua today for the people of Gaza, the Muslims in particular, and we pray that Allah Almighty forgive them for their shortcomings and bless them with the status of martyrdom and what the martyrs and the shuhada receive, inshallah. And may Allah Almighty grant us to have true leadership, true leaders that will stand for their people and protect their nations, inshallah. Ya Allah, grant us the arrival of the Mahdi that can save us and make easy for us and remove the regimes that are handicapping the Muslims, inshallah. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, we'd like to thank the sponsors of our program. Inshallah, may Allah Almighty continue to bless you with barakah in your business, open the ways for you in your tijarat. Inshallah, have mercy upon you and elevate your conditions, inshallah. So whether you're a new person to Ramadan, a new Muslim, or you're a seasoned observer, you got many years under your belt, we're here to make the rulings easy to understand, bringing you closer to the essence of this blessed time. So let's dive into the beauty of Ramadan together on Mufti in the House. Get ready for an enlightening conversation and practical insights that will enhance your Ramadan experience. Our mission is to make the wisdom of Islamic jurisprudence accessible to all, fostering a greater understanding of the spiritual significance behind the rituals of Ramadan. So sit back, relax, and let Mufti in the House be your guide to a more profound and fulfilling Ramadan experience. May this journey bring us closer to our faith and strengthen our connection to Allah Almighty. Bismillah, let's begin this journey of knowledge and reflection. And welcome once more for those who have just joined us, just joined us on this station, IBN, inshallah, the #1 channel for Islamic broadcasting. May Allah Almighty continue to bless this station and keep this station on air. And indeed, without a doubt, IBN is driven by the deen. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, inquiries regarding the validity of fasting in specific circumstances often arise amongst individuals striving to uphold religious obligations during this blessed month of Ramadan. Two common questions concern the impact of obligatory ablution, obligatory ghusl, major ablution, that is ghusl, the bathing, on the validity of fasting and the consequences of nocturnal discharge whilst fasting. So in response to these inquiries, the scholars and the muftis provide insights grounded in Islamic jurisprudence and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. These responses elucidate the rulings surrounding the validity of fasting in scenarios involving major ablution due to nocturnal emissions and nocturnal discharge. Now, the provided answers emphasize the continuity of fasting despite the obligation of major ablution, despite that ghusl is becoming wajib, and reassures individuals regarding the validity of their fast in such situations. References from authentic authorities, sources such as Dur al-Mukhtar, Bahr al-Shariat underscores the rulings on fasting, and the majority rulings with regards to fasting and impurity, etc., is found here in Dur al-Mukhtar. It's a fatwa book of Ibn Abidin al-Shami, and Bahr al-Shariat also. So these books offer clarity to those seeking guidance in matters of religious observance during this blessed month of Ramadan. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, through these responses that I have mentioned, or I'm going to mention, individuals now can gain a deeper understanding of the various rulings within Islamic law and ensure the integrity of their practices, and fasting is in accordance with religious teachings, inshallah. So let us continue, inshallah, on our discussions. And question number 34, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. What do the scholars of the deen and the muftis of the sacred law state regarding the following issue? Is it fard to rinse the mouth and sniff water into the nose, into the nostrils, or into the nose intensely for a fard ghusl whilst fasting? In other words, for water to reach the end limit of the throat in rinsing and the upper part of the nose in sniffing, this upper part here to the hard bone here, right? If this is so, then what should one do while fasting? If water reached the stomach or the brain, then will this invalidate the fast? If this does invalidate the fast, then how should one perform the fard ghusl while fasting? Please kindly provide a solution to this query. Brother Riaz is the questioner. Answer. And before I go into the answer, I hope you understand what's happening. The person is fasting, and we know when we're fasting, we should refrain from letting water enter our throats to go to our stomachs. So, when the water is going to our throat, it has the possibility of invalidating our fast. And one of the aspects of ghusl is that we should rinse our mouth. Not only just rinsing our mouth, but gargling properly to the throat here, to the beginning of the throat. So how can we do this and ensure that water does not go down? And then washing the nostrils, inhaling the water all about to the bone of the nose. It's not just the nostril here, inhaling to the soft part of the bone in the nose. And you inhale slowly. Don't inhale harshly or quickly so that you get headache and the water can go up into the brains. So what's the matter on this? Answer, inshallah. Let us listen to the answer. All right? And this can be beneficial for some of us. And if you did not know, you heard it on IBN, you learned it now, inshallah, we practice upon it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Jawab bin Awn al-Malik al-Wahhab. Allahumma hadayatul haqqi wa sawab. And the answer is with the help of the generous bestower, Allah Almighty. Oh Allah, guide us to the truth and the right path continuously. The Sharia prevents one from doing any excessive gargling. So the Sharia prevents one from doing anything excessive, having gargled. In a matter of rinsing during the fast, due to the possibility of water going in or past the throat. Whereas it is actually fard to ensure that water reaches the edge of the throat when rinsing the mouth for the fard ghusl. And this is also required for the one who is fasting as well. The fast will not become invalid from the water reaching this area of the throat. And if water does not reach it, then such ghusl will not be valid. Yes, it is sunnah for the one who is not fasting to gargle with exaggeration when rinsing the mouth. As far as sniffing water into the nose is concerned, whether fasting or not, in both cases, whether you're fasting or not, for the water to reach and cleanse the soft part of the nose, right? In other words, the starting point of the hard bone, through both nostrils, this action is fard, it's compulsory, it must be done in ghusl. Yes, the one who is fasting should not let water reach too high to the point where there is danger of it reaching the brain and subsequently invalidating the fast. If one is not fasting, then the water to reach above the hard bone is sunnah. So in relation to the rinsing of the mouth, Imam Ahmad Razak Khan, alayhi rahmah, he says that in today's day and age, many unknowledgeable people misunderstand rinsing as the mere swirling of water in the mouth. They take some water in the mouth and they swirl it around while the water does not reach the root of the tongue and the end of the throat. Thus, the obligation of ghusl has not been performed, neither is their salah possible, nor entry into the masjid permissible with this type of so-called ghusl, if the rinsing of the mouth is not done properly and the rinsing of the nostrils. If you are bathing, and ghusl is a major form of ritual purification, and we do this after nocturnal discharges, after wet dreams, or after having intercourse with your wives or husbands. You need to take ghusl. So when you're gargling, you must ensure that they gargle the water properly to the throat and to the nostrils. So rather, the third obligation is that water reaches behind the molar teeth, the bottom of the inner cheeks, the roots of the gums of the teeth, the gaps between the teeth, and every nook and cranny, until the edge of the throat. To the extent that if there is any hard thing, which is a barrier that prevents water from reaching the roots of the gums, reaching the gums, if there is any plaque and build up, right, of the teeth, the space between the teeth or any other areas, then it is mandatory to remove such and then rinse them out. Otherwise, ghusl will not be fulfilled. If there's plaque, if there's food stuck there, anything that is hard, right, that you need to wash properly away. So we should visit our dentist for our oral hygiene as well. So in short, even a fasting person is not excluded from such precautionary measures in ghusl. Yes, he should not gargle, as the water may go down the throat, though it is sunnah for a non-fasting person to gargle. And it is stated in Dur al-Mukhtar, sunnatu mubalagha bil gharghara li ghayri sa'imil li ihtimal fasad. And it is sunnah to intensely gargle in wudu and ghusl for non-fasting person, but not for the fasting person due to the possibility of voiding the fast. لِإِحْتِمَالِ الْفَسَادِ, right? لِغَيْرِ صَائِمٍ لِغَيْرِ صَائِمٍ لِإِحْتِمَالِ فَسَادِ. Right? So you don't want the possibility of breaking the fast. That's why when you're fasting, it's fine not to gargle to the extent that the water touches the throat. But if you're not fasting, and not in the month of Ramadan, you're not fasting, and in the night, and you need to be out of janabat, you just had intercourse with the wife or the spouse, right? And ghusl is wajib. You need to wash and rinse to the back of the throat properly, that the water reach the edge of the throat. And also when you're inhaling the nostrils, just don't go bathe just don't think you're done and the nostrils are not washed or the throat is not gargled. It's important, right? And I discovered this in the classes that we were teaching the people about bathing, taking a bath. And they never went to madrasa, so they don't know. They say, yeah, we bathe with soap, we do shampoo, we do everything. We have different soaps for different parts of our bodies, etc. You know, and all these fancy shampoos. So I said, okay, so when you bathe, do you wash your nostrils? No, don't wash my nostrils. I wash my outside of my body. I'm bathing, I'm taking a bath. Yeah, so not washing your nostrils, not rinsing your nostrils, not gargling the water. Your bath is incomplete. So you're in a state of janabat. Understand? Salah is not valid in a state. Going to the masjid is not valid in such a state. These things are important, and this is what we need to do in the madrasa level, the maktab. Sending your kids to maktab is important. So it's fard for water to reach all of the soft bone in both nostrils in order to complete the fard of ghusl. Just like the Imam of Ahl Sunnah, Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, may Allah have mercy upon him, states, the obligation of ghusl will not be lifted in the case of rinsing the mouth until water reaches and cleanse all parts of the mouth until the edge of the throat, as well as the soft bone of the nose until the starting point of the hard bone of the nose. A fasting person is not excused from this precaution either. Yes, such as a person should not take the water up too much. Otherwise, it may reach the brain. And it is sunnah for a non-fasting person to take the water up. Right? So it's stated in Dur al-Mukhtar, as-sunnat al-mubalaga bi-mujawaza al-ma'u li-ghayri sa'im. It is sunnah for the water to reach beyond the soft bone of the nose with intensity for the non-fasting individual. But if you're fasting, you try to with water, but not let it go too up, because you don't want the water to go into the brains. You don't want to inhale so strong that it can end up going into the brains and you feel it. All right? You don't want that. So this is important. We must do these proper practices, right? So it's stated in Radul Mukhtar, having been quoted in Bahr al-Ra'iq, that al-istinshaqu istilahan yani isal al-ma'i ila al-ma'rin wa lugatan min al-nashqi wa huwa hazb al-ma'i wa ma shabahu bi rih al-anfi ila dakhilihi. So they're explaining here with regards to this process, and you must perform istinshaq. Istinshaq means delivering water to the back of the throat, and it is the linguistic term derived from nishqa, right? Nishqa, which refers to drawing water, pulling in the water, right? And similar actions with the air of the nose towards the interior, right? So the technical meaning, in terms of sniffing, is that, what is the technical meaning of sniffing? And everything has two meanings, right? Al-istinshaq, sniffing, there's a technical meaning and a shari'i meaning. So the technical meaning of sniffing in the water is that it reached the soft part of the nose. And from the linguistic point of view, so the Sharia requires that the water goes up to the soft part of the nose. And from the linguistic part of linguistically, vocabulary speaking, it is derived from the word nashqa, meaning to draw up the water, etc., up into the nose by breathing. So you sniff the water, you breathe in the water. You put the water and you breathe it in. So it needs to reach here, the soft part of the bone, while fasting, not going beyond, because you don't want to exceed so that the possibility of the water going to the brains to break the fast. right? But if you're not fasting, this needs to be done. So those who are just sniffing the water right here to the nostrils and think they're making wudu and ghusl, it's not proper. You have learnt, inshallah. So if during ghusl, water reaches the stomach whilst rinsing, or the brain while sniffing, then the fast will definitely become invalid, broken. Just like it stated in Bahri Shariat that if one is rinsing the mouth and without intent, water went down the throat. And if one was sniffing water into the nostrils and it reached the brain, this will render the fast void, unless such person has forgotten that he is fasting. Then, in this case, it will not nullify the fast, and even if he had did so intentionally. Bahri Shariat, Volume 1, page 5, page 987, and Allah knows best. So some people now, they avoid sniffing the water in their nostrils, and they put the finger and they're trying to take out the mucus and stuff. How you sniff the water? You sniff the water slowly. You don't sniff harshly that it goes up quickly and you feel it burn you and you start to sneeze, etc. No, that's not the sunnah. You take the water in your palm and you sniff slowly. This is important, huh? This is very important in ghusl. This is a third action of the ghusl, right? This is important, right? And today, we don't care about the things that is important. I'm seeing a trend. Most of the Muslims now have no respect for masjid or the arkan of salah, wudu, etc. And inshallah, previewing our other program, Pathway to Jannah, inshallah, the highway to Jannah, where we discussed that. One of the programs we discussed that, the excellence of wudu, subhanallah, right? Now, we move on before we come to an end, inshallah. And studio, let me know how many minutes, inshallah, when time to cut off, inshallah. So question number 35, dear viewers, brothers and sisters. What do the scholars of the deen and the muftis of the sacred law state regarding the following issue? If a person has a nocturnal discharge and ghusl, major obligation is fard, obligatory upon him, then is his fard or nafil fast valid or not? So the question is, if a person had a nocturnal discharge, he went to sleep and he had a wet dream, or she went to sleep and she had a wet dream, right? Nocturnal discharge, only the prophets were free from this, and their wives, their blessed wives, never had this. And those who have nocturnal discharge, wet dreams, they're under the influence of shaitan. May Allah protect us from the influence of shaitan. Make wudu and go to sleep. So nocturnal discharge and ghusl, major ablution, is fard obligatory upon him. Is it fard or obligatory upon the individual? And if it is a fard fast or a nafil fast, will the fast be valid or not? Ahsan asks this question. Answer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Al-Jawab bin Awn al-Malik al-Wahhab. Allahumma hadayatul haqqi wa sawab. And the answer is with the help of the generous bestower. O Allah, continue to guide us to the truth and the right path. Fard ghusl, due to nocturnal discharge, does not affect the validity of the fast. The fast is valid. So you go to sleep, you had a wet dream, and you wake up, pants is wet, underwear is wet, nocturnal discharge takes place, man or woman, we all humans, it happens, and you're fasting, you went to sleep in a state of fast. Now, is your fast valid or not? The fast is valid. Don't think that the fast is not valid. The fast is valid. It is mentioned in Dur al-Mukhtar in the chapter concerning those things that do not nullify the fast. أو احتلام أو أنزل بنظر. The fast will not break if person experiences a nocturnal emission and if he or she sees the that discharge. Dur al-Mukhtar, volume 2, page 400. So the same book states, أو أصبح جنوبا وإن بقي كل اليوم. The fast will not break if a person enters the dawn in a state of janaba, major impurity, or remains in that state the entire day. So for example, right before dawn, before the time of Fajr, you wake up, you did sahri, and you fell off to sleep. And you had this janaba, this nocturnal discharge, the wet dream, and you wake up. Now, you can continue, the fast is still valid, the fast is not broken, but you need to get out of that state, inshallah. A state, you need to take a bath, right? You don't remain in that state till the end of the day. We need to take a bath. It is stated in Bahari Shariat that the fast will not break if a person enters the morning, subuh, in a state of janaba, or remains in that state the entire day. However, it is prohibited and is sin to intentionally not perform ghusl for such a long time, due to which salah is missed. So you need to take a bath because you'll be missing Fajr, you'll be missing Zuhar, you'll be missing Asr. You cannot perform salah in such a state, right? Bahar Shariat, Volume 1, page 984. So there, viewers, brothers and sisters, a summary on what we discussed here. The questions addressed concern specific scenarios that may arise during fasting in this month of Ramadan, particularly related to major ablution, ghusl, and nocturnal discharge. So the scholars and the muftis provide clarifications grounded in Islamic jurisprudence and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding major ablution due to nocturnal emission. So scholars affirm that fasting remains valid despite the obligation of ghusl. References from authentic texts and the scholars such as Dur al-Muhtar and Bahr al-Shariat, and these are authoritative texts, right? And it established the continuity of fasting even in the presence of major impurity. Now, concerning the validity of fasting in the presence of nocturnal discharge, scholars reiterate that fasting remains valid, right, regardless of such occurrences. References from Dur al-Mukhtar and Bahr al-Shariat reinforce the resilience of fasting in scenarios involving major impurity. So through these responses, individuals are reassured regarding the integrity of their fasting practices, fostering a deeper understanding of the various rulings within Islamic law and ensuring adherence to religious obligations during fasting in Ramadan. So we have another question, inshallah. And this is a question: in pursuit of upholding the sanctity of fasting during Ramadan, individuals often seek clarity or clarification on matters that may potentially invalidate their fast. One such query revolves around the use of a thermometer to check body temperature while fasting, prompting questions about its impact on the validity of fast according to Islamic scholars and the Mufti. All right. Now, in response to this query, scholars often incite rooted in Islamic jurisprudence and principles, and their guidance aims to provide clarity and reassure the individuals striving to maintain their fast while attending to health concerns. So the question delves into a specific scenario using a thermometer to monitor one's temperature, raising concerns about whether this action compromises the integrity of the fast. Through the responses provided by the ulama and the muftis, individuals gain a deeper understanding of the various rulings within Islamic law and their application to the contemporary situations. So the question is, question 36, what do the scholars of this deen and the muftis of the sacred law state regarding the following issue? Does the fast become invalid from placing a thermometer in the mouth to check one's temperature to see if one is ill? Adnan asked the question. Answer: al-jawab bin awn al-malik al-wahhab, Allahumma hadayatul haqqi wa sawab. And the answer is with the help of the generous bestower. O Allah, continue to guide us to the truth and the right path. The fast does not become invalid, that is clear, from placing a thermometer in the mouth to check one's temperature to see if one is ill, provided that there is no medicine, etc. on the thermometer. And usually there isn't any medicine on there because it is placed on the tongue or under the arm and then measures the warmth of the body, which then shows the temperature. During this process, nothing exits, nothing flows out and enters the body. So whereas the fast generally breaks whenever something enters the body via any actual natural passageways, such as the anus or the mouth. Thus, it is stated in Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba that al-fitru mimma dakhala wa laysa mimma yakhruj. The fast will become invalid from whatever enters the body, not from what exits the body. So some people think whatever enters the body, so having a thermometer, it breaks the fast. No, it's not like that. Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba, hadith number 9319, right? And also is mentioned in Fatwa al-Mghiri that وَلَبْتَلَعَ خشبة وطرافها في يده ثم أخرجها لا يفسد صومه. If someone placed a strip of wood in their mouth and swallowed it, right? But the other end is still in the hand, then he removes it, his fast will not become invalid. His fast will not become broken. Al-Fatwa al-Hindiya, also known as Fatwa al-Mghiri, mentions this. So dear viewers, brothers and sisters, summarizing today, you see that this question addresses the concern of whether using a thermometer to check one's temperature whilst fasting invalidates the fast according to Islamic scholars and the muftis. In response, the scholars affirm that the fast remains valid in such cases, provided that the thermometer does not contain any medication or substance that enters the body. References from the authoritative texts such as Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba and Fatwa al-Mghiri underscores the principle that fasting is invalidated by what enters the body, but not what exits it. And this reassures the scholars, offering clarity to individuals seeking to uphold their religious obligations while attending to their health concerns during Ramadan. So through these responses, individuals gain a deeper understanding of the various rulings within Islamic law and their application to contemporary situations, ensuring adherence to religious obligations while maintaining personal hygiene. So, dear viewers, brothers and sisters, that wraps up yet another episode of Mufti in the House. We hope today's discussion have been helpful in navigating the particulars of Ramadan and fasting. Remember, seeking knowledge is a journey, and every step brings us closer to a deeper understanding of our faith. And let's apply the wisdom shared today to enhance our spiritual connection. As I bid you farewell, may your fast be accepted, and may Allah Almighty's blessings be with you always. Join us next time for more enlightening conversations. Until then, take care and Assalamu alaikum.